Let us pray. Almighty God, we down before the humble obedience and dependence. We pray thee, grant us the grace to respect each other this day in all our consultations, that our deliberations today shall take place in the spirit of mutual trust, so that we as leaders shall lead our country on the path of peace and shall find solutions for issues and problems facing us. Grant us the mercy, O Lord, that we shall today also honor thy name, all we think, do, and say. Almighty God, we pray thee, bless our land and all its people. This all we pray in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Affirmation: I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. Welcome back. Housekeeping announcements. Honorable Nekundi, you are disturbing the Honorable Hipondoka. We have two members of this House, quite well known, who share a birthday. And their first name starts with T, both of them. So I'll start with the senior, the Honorable Tom Alwendo, and the Honorable Dr. Toby Upindi. We want to wish you a happy birthday. Be blessed, and be safe. Yes?
I thank you for promoting me, but I was honored to be born in the same day as yourself.
You know, there are so many people speaking at the same time. I couldn't hear.
But let me take in advance birthday wishes, which is happening on the 12th of May when you are not here. So I take it already today. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, the other way around.
I'm sharing your birthday, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay. It is received with appreciation. I think that's said and done, and now move to the business of the day. Honorable members, as a customary, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, will deliver the valedictory speech, will deliver an important speech, part of the farewell that we extend to the President. He will be here to address the 7th Parliament. And it's basically is what we regard as bidding as farewell, and likewise us having the opportunity to bid him farewell and to wish him well as he moves on from active service. Your story is speaking with a strong emphasis because I'm partly looking forward to exiting the active service to the nation. Now you hear me while I'm saying that. Now this is tomorrow, Tuesday, March 2025, and we'll be gathered here at the usual time in the Dr. Mose Penani Shitendero Chamber of the National Assembly. All members of this House, actually I should say they are required, but let me rephrase it and say you are requested to be here on time so that we can receive His Excellency the President in the usual style, or according him the respect and harmony so that we can actually hear him, and as well, using the opportunity, I'll be asking the leaders of the various parties represented in the House to use the opportunity also to wish the president well. Is that in order? Can we do that? It is actually a tradition that we normally carry out each time the president moves on, starting with the founding father, the second president, and the third. Of course, we didn't have the opportunity to do the same thing for the late Dr. Hage Geingob. So that's, I think we can agree. Lastly, I want to share with you that all the items that do need to be taken up in the order papers are all here. We do not expect anything else to be presented. Are we together on that one? If not, let me know if there's something that I'm missing. Now, after we had the opportunity to receive the president and to bid him farewell, I would like to request all of us to continue, please, to continue so that we can finish everything that we have here. We have 2 bills. I'm confident that we can actually finish them this afternoon. And then we have 17 items on the order paper that will require us to work extra hours, maybe to early hours in the evening, and then to continue tomorrow. And I think we should actually wrap it up tomorrow after we have received the president. So agreed? Thank you very much. Any petitions? Reports standing and select committees? Other reports and papers? I can understand that. Notices of questions? Now we are talking. Notices of motions? Okay. Messages from the president? Anyway, he will be here tomorrow. Okay. Ministerial statements. There are no hard issues. Everything is clear. Thank you. The Secretary will read the first order of the day.
Committee stage Public Procurement Amendment Bill.
Does the Honourable Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises move that the Assembly goes into committee?
I so move, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. It is moved that I leave the chair. Any objection? Who seconds? Agreed to. I now call on the chairperson of the House Committee to take the chair, and she's already on the way.
The whole host committee is called to order. The committee has to consider Public Procurement Amendment Bill. I put clause 1. Any discussions? Any objection? Agree to. Clause 2, 3. Any discussions? Any objection? Agree to. And I put clause 4. Clause 4, namely the short title and commencement. Any discussions? Any objection? Agree to. I will report the bill without amendment. Honorable Speaker, the committee of the whole House has gone through Bill B/2025 as set forth in the accompanying copy and agree to it without amendment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Does the Honorable Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises move that the bill now read a third time?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Any objection? Who seconds? Thank you. Agreed to. Any further discussion? In the absence of any further discussion, does the Honorable Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises wish to reply?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to thank all the honorable members of this august House for the support and the contributions that they have made. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now put the question that the bill be now read a third time. Any objection? Agree to? Thank you. The Secretary will read the bill a third time.
Public Procurement Amendment Bill.
Let's move on. The Secretary will read the second order of the day.
Committee stage, Namibia Financial Assistance Fund Amendment Bill.
Does the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation move that the Assembly now goes into committee?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. It is moved that I leave the chair. Any objection? Who seconds? Agree to? And I call on the chairperson of the Whole House Committee to take the chair.
Once more, the whole House Committee is called to order. The committee has to consider Namibia Financial Assistance Fund Amendment Bill. I put clause 2, pardon me, I put clause 1 and 2. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? I put clause 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? I put clause 8, 9, 10, and 11. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? I put clause 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? I put clause 17, 18, 19. Yeah, once more, I put clause 17, 18, and 19. Any
Yes.
Any discussions?
18, on 18E.
Yes, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chairperson of the Whole House Committee. I refer the House to clause 18E,
18.
which speaks to loan write-off. It reads as
18E.
follows: the Ministry may, subject to directives issued by the Minister with the concurrence of the Minister.
18 who?
18E, page 15, loan write-off.
No, there's no.
It's page 13.
Oh,
Yeah, you have on the Eastern
I have
Wall,
on the it's 18E,
There's no E.
clause 18E, loan write-off.
there is no 18E.
Clause 18E on page 15.
No, it's not close 18A.
Yes.
It's part of close 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What is this?
It's
Yes.
Why is it written 18?
So that
Yeah,
specific
just
clause
a moment.
says the following:
No,
the Minister may,
19.
subject to directives issued, the Ministry may, subject to directives issued by the Minister with the concurrence of the Minister of Finance, write off a loan awarded and dispersed to a borrower.
It is.
Well, that is all good and well, and as people who come from the student movement, we've always been of the view that in any case, loans must be written off. But if we pass this clause in this particular manner, and we leave it up to the functionary who is the minister to draw up those particular directives, there may be a potential for abuse of power, where tomorrow we'll have a rogue minister who will have a favorite child there and write off the debt. So I think we should have some other provisos under that clause to say that perhaps one case I would think of is in the case of a marginalized student, for example, or a student who was awarded a loan and that student goes on to achieve extraordinary traits. For example, just two provisos, just not to make it so general that it's open to abuse to another functionary that may come in the future. I think it's a bit problematic in that sense. Perhaps we can add 3 more provisos to say, in the instance of a marginalized student, in the instance of a student who has achieved extraordinary feats, because what other circumstances will arise in such a situation? That is my submission, Honorable Chairperson of the Whole House. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Kashimune. Indeed, you are right. It's only that the conditions that which may give rise to a loan being written off are not outlined here. But those who work with the fund closely, they know. And it's true that maybe 1 or 2 examples should actually be brought in here. For example, death.
or someone who becomes employable because of injury, and there are quite many, but we take cognizance of that. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy? In the regulation. It will be catered for in the regulations.
It is actually catered for already.
Okay.
So there is no need for. Yeah, it is catered for already. Like I said, it is already there within the provisions. It is there within the processes that guide the selection of students. It is there.
Okay.
It is there within the regulations of how we do
In the regulation.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Perhaps it would have been helpful if we had a copy, perhaps, of those regulations, because such a clause, there is only so many limited circumstances where you would write off a loan. As the minister rightly put it, it would maybe because of death, when you become unemployable, incapacitated, and perhaps two other extraordinary circumstances. Perhaps this is an amazing student who has achieved great strides for a country, or is from a marginalized community, for example. So is it just not best to put those circumstances there already in the law, so that it's not open to the minister to go abuse his or her powers to go at other extraordinary special circumstances there which would favor certain people? It's just my concern, Honorable Chairperson of the whole House, in respect of this particular clause.
We are hoping that there won't be abuse of power. So if it's cutted. Yeah, once more, I put clause 17, 18, and 19. Any objection? Oh, Honorable Minister of Mines and Energy.
Chairperson of the whole House Committee, wouldn't it all better than for all us to agree to say it will be in terms of the regulations issued by the minister? Yeah, in terms of the regulation, but also in concurrence with the minister. But there will be regulation that's articulated what the issues are. Yeah.
So it will be catered for in the regulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it must be said here.
Yeah. Just change the clause.
Once more, Pachuman. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Can we then perhaps get an assurance then from the minister that in those particular regulations there would be no untoward sort of circumstances, creative circumstances, which would then favor certain people? It will only be because of death, because that's common sense in the law. Once you die, your debts can no longer be claimed. Secondly, because you have become unemployable. Thirdly, because perhaps this student comes from such marginalized circumstances to the point where they just won't be able to repay that loan, and it will be against public policy for that particular graduate to repay back the loan. So that, can we just get an assurance from the minister that these will be the regulations and not because maybe this student is related to who and so forth. So thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson of the whole House.
She's in the minister, yes, maybe, finally.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oh, okay. Yes, Honorable Maureen Wende.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the whole House Committee. Just want to remind, like the Minister said, the existing policies for recovery. There is a policy that says it is called the NASFA Student Financial Assistance Policy. and it has got a clause, full clause on the recovery, and when it can be written off. So I think it is sufficiently covered.
Covered.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Assistant. It says, I put, it's okay. I put a clause. I put clause 17, 18, 19, any objection. Oh. Honorable Minister of Finance. Oh, first, Honorable Minister of Justice.
I just wanted to say the sanctioning provision is the one that says subject to the directives. I get the distinct impression from that provision that one of two things will happen. First, the Minister of Higher Education will prepare directives, and those directives would be subjected to a consultation process with the Minister of Finance. There are two ministers, and typically a Minister of Finance in many ways has overriding guidance that it provides when it comes to issues of treasury and financial means. This is state money. So I think we are going a little bit too far if we prescribe what the exact circumstances would be. Some of the circumstances are so grave that you would be required, but may not fit into the list that the honourable member is providing. I think for the moment, because the issue of NASFAP is going to be an ongoing process, this particular legislation is only dealing with the broad prospect of reintegration. If the issues come up, I suspect, there will be continuous consultations. I think, Honourable Member, let's trust the process, because this is a state institution that we're talking about. Thank you.
Minister of Finance? Okay, it's covered. Once more, I put clause 17, 18, and 19. Any objection? Agreed to. Then I put clause 20, 21, 20 and 21. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to. Clause 22, 23, and 24. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to. I shall report the bill without amendment. Why are they? Honourable Speaker, the committee has gone through Bill B4/2025, as set forth in the accompanying copy, and agreed to it without amendment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Does the Honourable Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation move that the bill be now read a third time?
I so move, Honourable
Thank you.
Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any objection? Who seconds? Then it's agreed to. Any further discussion, Minister? In the absence of such, Minister would like to reply.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the members of this August House because we have just done justice to a very important amendment bill, one that speaks to the heart of the education and training of our young people in this country. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I now put the question that the bill be read a third time. Any objection? Agree to? Thank you. The Secretary will read the bill a third time.
Namibia Financial Assistance Fund Amendment Bill.
Let's move on. The Secretary will read the third order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the motion to find solutions to the devastating effects of the increasing seal populations on the sustainable harvesting of fish stocks in Namibia.
Does the Honorable Toya move that the committee report be considered? Yes?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members.
Thank you.
I will
just wanted
invite
to
my
confirm.
colleague, who is the head or the chair of this subcommittee.
We are not yet there.
Oh, we're not yet there.
Yes.
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. 2 seconds. Thank you. Any objection? Then it is agreed to. Honorable Member.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I will invite my colleague, who is the chair of that subcommittee on fisheries and marine resources, to give a brief motivation on the outcome of the investigation of that particular motion. First, it was Honorable Vetboy, but is he going to do the motivation? Yeah, the motivation will be done by the one who took over, Honorable Mukapuli.
And I like the reference to a brief.
Yes, it is brief.
Indeed.
Delegation of
Remember, you have the floor.
Without accountability, you see?
Yeah,
Exemplary leader.
Yes. Honorable Vetboy?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise to motivate the motivation to find solution to the devastating effects of the increasing seal population on the sustainable harvesting of the fish stock in Namibia. The motion was tabled in this August House on the 1st of March 2023 by Honorable Micah Vekotora and subsequently referred to this committee on the 3rd of March 2023 to deliberate and find solution to the devastating increasing in seal population and the impacts on the sustainable harvesting of the fish stocks. The subcommittee on fisheries, we held consultative meetings with key stakeholders in the fishing industries, who include fishing companies and their association, seal processing companies, regional leadership, and local authorities. We have chosen 4 towns, namely Luderitz, Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, and Henties Bay, which is the main hub of the fishing industry and where seal colonies are located. A total of 18 stakeholders were consulted. In addition, the committee visited Wolf Bay, Cape Cross, and the Pelican Bay seal colonies to witness and experience the reality of the increase in seal and observe the positive impact seals have on tourism. I think, Honorable Speaker, I will just go to the recommendation from the committee. Our first recommendation, in terms of recommendation, among others, the committee recommending that the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, for the sake of public interest, to annually publish data on the total number of the seal population, the size of the quotas, and the actual number of pups and bulls harvested. The second recommendation is that the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources to look into the possibility of extending the harvest season to the end of November to enable the harvesters to catch their full quotas as allocated, cognizant of the fact that bulls only come to shore towards the end of September, which at present only gives 2 weeks of the harvesting. The third is the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources to promote the sale for the consumption of seal meat locally as a protein source through the Namibia fish consumption. What we mean is that we want the seal meat also to be eaten in Namibia. And We have proof that it is already done, but we just want it to be done officially. The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources increased the quota holders, participants, and quantity from 50,000 to 200,000 for a fixed period of a time to reduce numbers to a sustainable level. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, scientific data shows that apart from seals depleting fish stocks, climate change and overfishing by humans also contribute. Seals are a keynote species of which their reduction or near elimination will have adverse impact on the overall marine ecosystem. Sustainability of the ecosystem should be a key factor in determining appropriate responses to the increased effects of the seals. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, with these few remarks, I now have the honor to submit the report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resources on the report on the motion to find solutions to the devastating effects of the increasing seal populations on the sustainable harvesting of fish stocks in Namibia to this August House for consideration, for discussion, and for adoption. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next, the Honorable Lucia Bedboy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members.
Honorable member, I just, last week, Friday, we gave an undertaking to make sure that our colleagues from the National Council are brought back over the weekend, and the two bills will be ready for them to deliberate upon this afternoon. You have done us a great favor. Through technology, I have been able to send off those two bills while I'm sitting here to the National Council. Please continue.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members.
It's what we call the e-parliament.
Thank you, honorable Speaker, honorable members. Thank you, honorable Speaker, for a job well done. E-parliament is working. I rise to support, to commend the Natural Resource Committee under the leadership of Honorable Toya, and also myself was also the chairperson, as it was mentioned, and well done also to Honorable Hilaria. As he alluded in the report, we have visited the different colonies, the fishing quota holders, the fishing companies. So what I can confirm, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, is that the quota holders are really struggling to harvest the full quota allocated to them. And one of the problems is the harvesting season. Why I basically repeat it is for the House and honorable, so that it can reach the deepest ear of the honorable member that will have the ministry under his leadership, he or she's leadership. Honorable members, to harvest a seal is not an easy exercise. You have to prepare you fully to go out for the whole day. You must have enough manpower. Your truck must be, you couldn't bring that word. Your truck must be roadworthy. Your truck and the equipment must be ready, and it must be enough. Basically, it takes really a whole day.
It's not because of the smell.
Yes. And you cannot just, when you come there, start to harvest. You have to harvest only the pups and the bulls, not the female. Not the female. Therefore, honorable members, I agreed with the finding, that seal quota holders really struggle to complete the full quota during the 6 months harvesting time. Sometimes the weather condition also contribute. When the weather is not good, then they cannot go out. So therefore, I agree with the recommendation 13.9 to look into the possibility of extending the harvesting season to enable the harvesters to catch their full quota as allocated. And also, as it was mentioned, the bulls only, they didn't come out every day. They only come to the shore towards the end of September, which at the present only give them 2 weeks to stay outside. So therefore, I want to recommend that the ministry also consider, I want also to, the ministry consider to attach a small fishing quota, especially for the first time when the people get that quota for the seals, because really they are struggling. They are struggling to get the process done, and we have seen it in Luthers, for example. Those that quota holders that have attached a fishing quota, they are doing better than the other one. So I want also to recommend that one, a small fishing, especially with when they start. Then, honourable member, I also support the recommendation on the meat, but I want to say, if you harvest the seal, then that seal can be processed in different ways. For example, meat can be consumed because it is rich in nutrition. The seal meat. People at the coast, Luthers, this side, people are eating the meat. Hilaria is a testament. Yes, she is alive, and yes. Then we have. Then, honourable member, I also brought the oil. The oil here. Here is the oil. The omega-3 oil, sea oil. It is also rich in nutrition. We use it. Our parents use it for all the years since birth, and they are still alive. So the seal oil. We have also the belt. Here the belt, and also this armband, the belt that will stay. Yeah, Bengalos. It can stay lifelong. Lifelong. And welcome, Honourable Minister of Fisheries.
The Minister of Fisheries just arriving. He ought to hear this.
And then also, this is a wallet. These are things that our women are making there in Henty's Bay. It will stay for life. Then the skin. Here is also the skin. There's also the skin. You can frame it nicely and put it in your sitting room. Now, and the main one is the genitals. The genitals. The biggest money makers.
I don't think the last aspect is understood. What was it?
The last one is the genitals. Yeah. The biggest money of the seal is there. But unfortunately, I could not bring it. So what I really recommend, what I really recommend is for that seal, after harvesting, it must be utilized, the whole seal. Therefore, I propose and recommend a fully fledged seal factory in Namibia.
Can I ask my neighbor, what do they do with the genitals?
They are making, for example, medicine that we all use unknowingly as recipe here. So, yes, unknowingly. It's true. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. But what I really recommend is that in Namibia we must have a seal factory, a fully fledged seal factory, so that seal, after harvesting, first the harvesting process is so challenging. So when you harvest it, you must utilize it properly until to the fullest. The oil, the bag, and in Henty's Bay we have women that are making different kinds of human groups. Not human, but groups. Genitals. They are little bit. Well, so you know the way. That seal meat, in Namibia, we are sitting with drought. Can also assist in the drought relief program. As I said, Komari Mukapuli is a testimony of eating that meat, for example. Lutherans people, you can make biltong, you can cook it nicely. If it was not this last minute tabling, we would have prepared them to come and
Honorable Chair, a question from the chair. All these years we've been entertained by the Ministry of Fisheries, bringing all the different fishery items. How come they never included some of these things when they're entertaining us here?
They must do it this year.
Now, Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker, now they know. We must also know that
now they know.
They are health.
Yes,
the Minister of Health must approve it. Minister of Agriculture plays a role. So now the ministry knows. So we are looking forward for a nice seal meat during the budget next year. Honourable members, we cannot drastically reduce seals because they are also good for the ecosystem. But on the other hand, seals are consuming fish heavily, and we have the statistics in the report. At the fishing factory, and the fishing factory owners are also appealing to the government to look into how we can reduce the seal population, especially the bulls, because they are consuming the biggest chunk of the fish. They are really, those company owners, they are crying on our soldiers. Please do something. Now, interestingly, they shared with us, if the trawlers are out on the sea, that seals, they are running at the same speed of the boat. They are running at the same speed. And then when they throw in the net, they are the first ones who jumps in there, wait for the fish to be there, and start eating from the net. So they are the first ones. So they are really appealing to the Parliament to look into it. We cannot reduce it. We cannot get away of it totally, but because they are good for the ecosystem. But let's do it. And Honourable Minister, you have heard it. Let us have seal meat. Let the necessary stakeholder come on board and sort out the, I should say, regulations and things so that we can start use, because our communities needs also that meat. If we can eat dog meat, I believe we can also eat seal meat. On that note, I support the report and thank you, my group. Here are the items, here are the oil. I can even now start to test the what.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
So you will bring this for
Yes, Honourable Speaker, Sir, Honourable Members, you have heard it for yourself. The motion asked the Standing Committee on Natural Resources to seek solutions for the ever-increasing population. You have heard from the brief motivation, you have heard the examples. Now, this is our findings. First, yes, it is true the seals have a serious problem. They're overpopulated. Why? The Ministry of Fisheries does give quotas to harvest this particular commodity, the seals. For example, for this fishing period, or this year, Ministry of Fisheries would allocate a total of 60,000 seals to be harvested. Now, out of the 60,000, You have got the bulls, for example, 8,000, and the rest are pups. The seals are listed by CITES as one of the endangered species. People out there are told, if you dare dealing with seal product from Namibia, you are subject to sanctions. And this is a big challenge. Now, what is happening in the coast, or at the coast, Swakop, that's west, first the Swakop, Wolvis, Sentis. There are the people that get the quotas. 4 companies or so. The side of the south, 3 or so. Now, these quota holders to harvest seals don't have factories. There's one factory in Hentis. They don't have a quota. Now, because the challenge is seals are listed as CITES endangered species, nobody wants to touch it. There is one citizen from one country who is interested in the seals, but not the whole seal as a product. That businessman is only interested in the genitals because they use it for medical purposes and all the other things, etc. Now, he can only get it not from the pups because they don't have strong genitals. He only relies on the 8,000 out of the 50,000. What then happens, these 6 or 7 quota holders will only target for the genitals because that's where they will get their income. The seal as a whole, all this that we shared with you, this is what I'm using almost every week, every day. There is no market for it. That is where industrialization should kick in. The meat, they confirm themselves, it is high in protein. But they are not being harvested because there is no market for it in the country. And it is not for those that have got quotas. To do the industrialization, it needs a different type of investors to do the processing to give us oil in the form of omega, lotion, and all the others. Meat, not for export, but for our use. All these that we have shared with you, this should be product from a seal to promote our own industrial base, but it is not happening. What happens then? 50,000, only 8,000 bulls have been harvested because that is where they get income. The rest, they go back. Next year, they issue the same quota. That's how the population got increased. Now, what is the solution that this committee came up with? We cannot use the word cull. We can't cull. We are saying that of the current quota holders, increase that participation maybe to 10 or 15 for a specific period so that they don't finish it, but we need to balance the ecosystem. And then build the local market in the form of all this oil, wallet, and all meat, etc., etc. That is the opportunity for further investment. That is a solution that we are putting to this August House in the form of recommendations. I just needed to put that in context. Once again, thank you very much for the committee members, and thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mahone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the report. The report, I went through, I liked the objectives as they were set out within the report. And I saw that
When they went, they also just worked on those objectives. Very good. I just have a problem with two recommendations that I would like them to be changed. But before the recommendations, Honorable Toya mentioned about the CITES. I just want to read one letter. Every year, when it is the time of seal season is coming, our computers in the ministry is bombarded with letters. You can get 10,000 a day, bombarded. I just want to read one just for you to get what is being written. Stop the massacre of Cape First Seals. Dear Honorable Makone, they know who is where. Dear Honorable Makone, I'm shocked that the Namibian government is promoting the brutal, senseless slaughter of Cape First Seal pups and bulls. The pups are so young, they are still nursing. They are separated from their mothers and killed in front of each other and near their mothers. This cruelty is completely unacceptable. I have seen the sickening images and videos of this horrifying massacre and have forwarded this information to everyone I know. Cape First Seals have suffered mass die-offs over the past decade. In part, due to Namibia's reckless overfishing, Namibia needs to realize that the oceans are in peril and fishermen around the world are having a harder time catching fish, not because of seals, whose population are quite stable, but largely because of overfishing, illegal fishing, even beyond the excessive quotas and destructive fishing practices that damage fish habitat and breeding grounds and create huge amounts of bycatch. This problem must be addressed by Namibia if Namibia wants to protect fisheries. Killing seals will not yield the desired results. South Africa stopped killing seals years ago. Its fisheries have not suffered due to the continued presence of Cape First Seals. Namibia must now follow suit and ban this violent practice. As a caring person, I will boycott tourism in Namibia and products from Namibia, especially Namibia's hake. I will also tell everyone I know to do the same. So I'm just sincerely Joyce Alexander. It's a lot of people that are sending the same thing over and over. You will not know it's just sincerely Joyce Alexander. You will not, it's advocates for hubseals.organization. So just to give you the picture to say how sensitive it is with the seals, and as Honorable Toya explained, I want the recommendation 1314 that say the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, together with the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization, to engage with Asian countries and Canada where the market exists for seals products to promoting the opening up of markets. You don't have that one? Which one?
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's a detailed recommendation.
Yeah. So
we'll put it in that.
I think that one, I think it should read that the ministry should engage the Ministry of Trade and for them to look for the markets, because that's where they should be.
Yeah.
And then 13.8, I don't know whether you still have that one. Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources should consider allocating quotas to the seal company in Hendy's Bay. They have the necessary equipment and the capacity to use all the quotas. This will provide employment to the locals as without the rights holders reaching agreements with the company, the factory remains closed with no employment. I just have to explain to say, this company does not have a right. And if a company does not have a right, you cannot give it a quota. And except that, like Honorable said, there is this national of a certain country. He is the one that has this factory 100%. And it will be unfair for the ministry to give quotas 100% to a foreign national. So that recommendation is, the ministry is not able to do it. So, and then 13.9 is just to say it talks about the staff on the fishing vessels. I think that one will be overstepping our mandate because it belongs to the Ministry of Labor. So it's only those ones. All the others are fine, no problem. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Next, the Honorable Ndambwende.
It's very brief. I think I just stand up to say compliments to the committee. First of all, the mover of the motion in absentia through his party. And then secondly, the committee that has done a stunning job. I think what we have here is a very practical report with the basic research being done. And I just want to add that I've identified various stakeholders in the process. Labor has been mentioned, but I'm thinking when you talk about meat, is it agriculture or is it fisheries ministry? So maybe we also add agriculture. But what I mainly wanted to say, Honorable Speaker, is that generally, maybe the other problem that we have is more investigation into the methods that are being applied in dealing with these animals, in killing them or taking the life out of them. Because it is not, although probably catching them is another issue, but we have livestock that we also kill in pork. So we have got so many animals that anyway, even the fish, we are fishing them. So I think the people that are talking about killing of seals or campaigning against has got other interests as well, mainly from the pharmaceuticals or from the synthetic leather industry. But I think I also hope the universities have picked up the idea of further research that needs to be done in terms of medicinal values. And mainly when I smell this omega, it's actually what, as children were given, what was it called? First uli. No, first uli. There's like this first uli that children hated, but we were all given. So I think it is something, even for the malnutrition issues that we have, mainly in Omaheke, we can make use of this oil to supplement food. So, colleagues, well done for a report and also even its presentation. We all feel like we've been there in the factory. We support it.
Thank you, Honorable Murorwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I must say that I am firstly in full support of the motion. I am also very pleased with the work that the committee has done. And I think the question that I wanted to raise has been amplified by Honorable Makone. But what I want to know exactly is how did the committee breach these concerns of the international community? Because some years back, I think 2017 or between 2010 and 2017, The concern that we're having is the factory in Handisburg. The main reason that they are not having a quota is because of the concerns that were raised. That is part of the concerns now. How do we bridge that as a nation? Or are we just going to ignore them? What is it that we are planning to do? Because many a times our market of these things is dependent on the countries abroad. And I would like to know how we are approaching this issue. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, Honorable Sheku Pakela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members. I rise to support the motion, the mover, and also to thank the committee for the job well done. Mine is, I had a slight problem with Honorable Mahone by the letter she just read to us. I don't know. I wanted to understand from her whether her ministry has done their own investigation. I think.
Thank you very much. Short and sweet. Obviously, the ministry is very much in touch with these people who sometimes agitate against anything that is happening in our country. Next, the Honorable Karupu.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the floor. I am a member of the committee. I did not intend to speak after the Honorable Chairperson has put it in context, but I have been prompted by the letter read by the Honorable Deputy Minister of Fisheries just to put a footnote to the Honorable members that spoke before me, including the chairpersons and former chairpersons subcommittee, that we are not saying that we should completely destroy that part of the marine resources we have, that mammals called the seals. But research has it that Canada's seal population is 10 times less than Namibian seal population. Canada came up with a policy of trying to control the increase of seals in order to allow the fish to recover, fish species. Despite the fact that Canada's biggest trading partner, the USA, banning the the seal products and threatening any countries that harvest seals and market seals products with the sanctions. But Canada came up with that policy, and they are assisting their rural people to consume that seal meat. I just wanted to make a foot point, and on the policy, the report, if it is adopted here, and then it needs to be implemented by the ministry by coming up with the policies. That's why we are saying Namibia is a dry country. We are dealing with drought relief.
Is that a point of order? A point of order?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to get clarification. The honorable member, being a committee member, is informing us that Canada came up with a policy. Can he possibly enlighten us what's the content of that policy, so that we can see how we can make a recommendation for application in Namibia?
Honorable Karupu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nekundi, for a very important question. As I've said, Canada has put up a policy to control the increase of seal population, to allow the fish space to recover. And also...
To increase or to decrease? Decrease, not to increase.
Control. I spoke about controlling.
Control.
Yeah, to control.
Yes. Yeah.
To control the increase.
Exactly.
You control it. It should not increase.
Exactly.
To such extent.
That's what I'm
that,
yeah.
You know, research has it that a large seal consumes between 7 to 9 kilograms a day. So, of fish a day. If you have got 110 million seals in our oceans, how many tons of fish will this seal consume per annum? Yeah. So that's why they came up with a policy to control, to balance. Not control means you harvest sustainably. You harvest the seal sustainably so that it cannot be in an increase to such an extent that it can deplete the fish. They call it you harvest because there are people who do not want to hear culling or whatever they are. You are harvesting them.
I really have a fundamental concern here. We have spent so much time on this report because so many other reports, nitpicking. I think broadly speaking, the idea is to decrease reasonably. That is the point.
That is the point.
And that is what the report is saying to us. We don't need to go further than that. Yes, please. The person is speaking. Yes. Are you done?
No.
Okay.
Because
another point of order. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's not it is on. What I wanted the Honorable Member of Parliament to make us to learn from Canada's best practice is by highlighting the method. What do they do in order to help us to control? Yes, it's about controlling, but we want to learn from their best practice.
My understanding, this is what the committee has gone through. This is part of the outcome of the work of that committee. Honorable Member, please. You are a member of the committee. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, it's a common knowledge. You have to know when people are say controlling, they are harvesting. They are harvesting so that it can be at a certain number. Harvesting. So I do not want to say killing. Harvesting is just the same, like what they say culling. You harvest, so that you can bring it at a certain number of that population, so that you can allow the other species in the ocean also, you see, to increase, like fish. That's what it means. It's a common sense.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Over to you.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. And I also want to really, out of the deepest of my heart, want to thank the committee for this report. This is really a well-researched report. A lot of work went into this report. And what the findings is what it is. And most of these issues, the ministry is aware about it, but for the public out there, this report is a very good report. I just want to say one or two things very short. I just want to mention that the issue on the seal meat, seal products, when I visited the factory, it's a bit worrisome for me in the sense that Ministry of Health discouraged the seal meat to be consumed by humans, and it's in the report. And also what I can mention is the farmers used to use the oil. They use it for leck, to put it on the salt clips, salt stones, and so on, That is also discouraged from the Ministry of Agriculture, I believe. So if those things can be looked into and sorted out here, then it will be so much better. And these things, then the factories can be put up, and this meat can be consumed, and so on. And I just want to mention that the seals and the harvesting of the seals, yes, in the old days they call it culling, where they club the seals, and because of the inhumane way the seals was harvested, the government decided they must find a new way, and now currently they are shooting the bulls, and they are not clubbing them anymore. So this is a more humane way.
And it is in the report.
It's in the report. It should be in the report.
Yeah.
Then there was a question that came that what is the ministry doing? The letter that my deputy minister have read. What I can say is there's a lot of these letters coming, and this is public knowledge, our public view what we are doing in our country. So it's not a matter that we, honourable, that we can research. It's there, the letters that comes in, and it's how people are against what we are doing, but we are trying to do the best what we can for our country. And I agree that the ministry need to visit Canada. I had some talks with the ambassador in America, Ambassador Margaret Menza-Williams, and she has already started some legwork in Canada, so that we need to visit Canada to see how we can deal with these seals on a better way, so that they can be minimized. Honourable Speaker, with that, I really thank the committee, all of them, for their hard work under the leadership of Comrade Chikera Toya. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. In the absence of any further contributions, I ask the Honourable Chairperson of the committee to reply.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, thank you very much for the contribution. Seeing that maybe others have not read the report, but we appreciate that. The reason why we refer to Asia and Canada, as it was explained by others, these are countries that said, this is our natural resources, you can keep your sanctions, we will harvest our resource for the benefit of our people and our countries. We wanted to go and learn from them. Asia and Canada. You have had, there are also sanctions, but on this one they took a stand. And in the report we are saying we should not see this resource only for export. We also need it ourselves. All these final products, the barrels and these omega, the meat, this we need ourselves. So we therefore invite investment in those areas so that this resource can serve the purpose for which it is. All right. We recommend therefore the seal factory. We are aware that the factory does not have the right to harvest seals. Now this is a situation on the ground. I gave you the 50,000, 8,000 bulls. Now because there is only one factory and this factory does not have the right to these seals, these people that have the quotas, when they take now to this factory, knowingly that they can only rely on the 8,000, they outprice themselves to cover for the pubs that does not have a market. And the factory becomes a problem because when they add up their figures, they say it is going to be at a loss, and therefore they cannot use that factory. All that we are saying is that if they are not to be considered, because if they do have, they will supplement the others. That's all the solution that we are proposing. That's how the factory comes in. Now, the issue of seals, we also recognize that we must maintain the ecosystem. Now, Honorable Nekundi here mentioned about it. There is a fish. Seals eat from fish. People eat from fish. Big fish also eat from some fish. So it is not only one that eats the fish. The environment. Now, when they become more, the seals, they therefore pose a menace to the environment. They therefore will have to find other areas because they are now overpopulated. Now, where they are going, they need also to eat. And that is the danger if you do not maintain the ecosystem. They become danger in themselves because now they cannot even feed the small ones. That is all we are saying. Okay. Honorable Hinda Mbwende, thank you very much. The issue of method, and I want to link with what Honorable Minister said, the issue here is the bulls, because they are big, the method of harvesting them, they shoot them. Shoot. But the pups, those are not at the maturity level. They call it clubbing. And it is that clubbing because if you shoot, the bullet just goes through, it will not die. You will again cause a problem because now you just injure them and they will die all over the place. So this is why you club. Now these international have been challenged and say, give us a method to do the culling, the harvesting. They could not. And say, if you don't have, we will use what we think as Namibia, the method to manage our resource. Okay, it's just that the two methods. And now, I think I have done the issue of the question of honorable. I don't think that this is for the ministry. We tried as a committee to understand the geopolitics and the international issues. That is why we came with a solution to also assist them. The letter that was ready, we were aware of that, and it's because of that. This is why we're coming with different solutions. This different solution really is. Don't look for solution outside. The solution is in here, in Namibia. We must find our own solution. Start here and start talking among ourselves and the various ministries or so. We must be masters of our own destiny, including to manage the seals. Okay. All right, Honorable Speaker, I once again want to acknowledge we are aware of ministers' concern, the farmers, because of oil. This can be used by people. Us. We are aware of Ministry of Agriculture.
The message is clear.
It's clear. Thank you very much. Now, on that, thank you very much for your understanding and your support. I rest my case.
Thank you. If this is going to be the method we are going to adopt for every report, I really get worried. I now put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Agree to? Finally. Well, I think you're right. Honestly, I'm trying to put in as much. Just imagine with this, the whole afternoon we've done just one report. We could have done about 3 or something like that. But do we go for a tea break and come back? Do we? All of you are happy to go? Okay. We are adjourned for tea break.
subsistence small-scale miners who relied on this practice for their livelihood were classified as illegal miners because the EPLs have been taken over by the investors. The constituency office did not have records of big or small mining activities in the district. Moreover, the committee found out that the environmental impact assessment officials only speak to EPL holders and not to the traditional authorities or affected communities. The findings in this report confirm a lack of coordination between the constituency councillor, the traditional authority, and the community and the respective ministries. The traditional authority in Daures constituency could not distinguish between exploration and actual mining. This came to light as loads of trucks were transporting lithium ores, and they still maintained that the company was exploring. Thus, the committee recommends that the Ministry of Mines and Energy, together with the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, should conduct an urgent awareness creation campaign on policies and procedures as far as mining is concerned for stakeholders, especially the traditional authorities and small-scale miners in Daures constituency. The constituency councillor should liaise with the Ministry of Mines and Energy to create database for all mining activities taking place in the Daures constituency, be it big or small. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism should initiate and implement new methods of advertisements of objections that are more accessible to the communities in the rural areas. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism should enforce a policy to ensure that each investor must create separate account for the closure plan from the first day of production up to the end of production to rehabilitate the sites. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I would like to thank my fellow committee members for their dedication and teamwork, and all relevant stakeholders whom we consulted for their cooperation rendered during the exercise. I therefore humbly request the National Assembly to consider, discuss, and adopt this report. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any contribution? We support wholeheartedly. Honorable member, the message is loud and clear. You have the support of the House. So I would like to request you to reply.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I would like now to make use of this opportunity to wholeheartedly thank all the honorable members who are in support of this report, and I'm looking forward for the adoption of this report.
Thank you very much. Given the support, I now put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Thank you very much. The Secretary will read the fifth order of the report of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the petition to provide for the regularization of foreign ownership of land in Namibia.
Does the Honorable Toya move that the committee report be considered?
I move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Who seconds? Then it is, any objection? Agreed to. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, this is a petition that was submitted by the Affirmative Repositioning AR, and that was submitted on the 18th of March 2019. in a form of a draft bill titled Bill to Provide for the Regulation of Foreign Ownership of Land. And it was then referred to the committee in April 2021. I will accept that the honorable members had the opportunity to go through this particular report, and the objectives is outlined there. The methodology that the committee followed is to have stakeholders meetings, and we have identified as a committee up to 14 stakeholders. They are listed in the report. Others, you may not have heard of them, but we made it as open as possible to listen to everybody. And at the moment, I need to share with the honorable members, honorable speaker, that the only stakeholder that was outstanding is the Council of Traditional Leaders. We gave them time from 2021. The leadership communicated to the committee that the leadership does not have the mandate to have an opinion until they have got the annual general meeting. 2021 came, they did not discuss any. They said, we don't have any position. 2022, they had their AG meeting. They could not, they said, we did not have a common collective position. 2023, the committee then decided that we will complete that work, that report, and then report accordingly. So all the stakeholders that were consulted, their views are reflected in the report, except the Council, the Traditional Authorities. It was important for the committee to have their views because Article 16 refers to the foreign ownership. With investment, people going to the communal areas, they cannot invest in the air, they need land. And some settlements, villages, want to have investment, factories, and whatever. This is why we wanted to hear the views of the traditional authorities. It is therefore our humble submission, Honorable Speaker, that in terms of our findings, that exclude that very important stakeholder. And in terms of our recommendations, it also excludes that, and it is now for the committee, really, with all the stakeholders, their views, the findings of the committee, and the recommendations for your consideration, discussion, and adoption. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Any further contribution? If the absence and any contribution, I request the chairperson to reply.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much. I now put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Let's make progress. The secretary will read the sixth order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the visit to the railway infrastructure in the northern regions.
Does the Honorable Ithete move that the committee report be considered?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Who seconds? Any objection? None? Then it's agreed to. The Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to motivate the report of the Standing Committee on Economics and Public Administration on the management of railway infrastructures in Oshana, Oshikoto, and Oshodonjupa region for approval by this August House. Railway transport remains a vital component of our economy, providing a cost-effective, efficient, and environmental-friendly means of transport heavy goods over long distance. Given the country growing mining and industrial sectors, rail infrastructure is crucial for sustainable economic development. As a population growth increases, demand for freight and passenger transport, ensuring the modernizations and sustainability of railway infrastructures is essential. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, to fulfill its parliamentary oversight function, our committee conducted inspection on infrastructures and assets in the 3 regions. As I mentioned earlier, the oversight visit revealed aging and unreliable locomotives, many 50 to 60 years old, causing fragile breakdown and inefficiency, spare parts shortage, and long procurement delay, taking up to 6 to 12 months, are further hampering the repair of this locomotive. Several railway stations, including Oshikango and Omutia, remain non-operational, with Oshikango never utilized since 2012. Lack of fencing around railway lines poses a serious safety risk, leading to accident and fatality. Additionally, honorable members, the Oshakati railway station, although structural complete, remain non-functional due to delays in constructing the railway tracks. Honorable members, the committee underscores the urgent need for investment in modernizing locomotives, securing spare parts, operationalizing unused railway stations, improving safety infrastructures, and accelerating project completions. The recommendations are submitted for approval and implementation to the relevant office, ministry, and agency under the leadership of the Ministry of Works and Transport. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any contributions? In the absence of any contribution, I would like to request the chairperson of the committee to reply.
Report so that we can go and so that the country can go and improve on our rail system.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I'll put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Agree to? Thank you very much. The Secretary will read the 7th order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the oversight visit to the resettlement farms in Ochodonjupa, Omaheke, Kunene, and Erongo regions.
Does the Honorable Toya move that the committee report be considered?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Who seconds? I see some hands. Any objection? None. Then it's agreed to. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. The committee, as part of its oversight function, visited 4 regions, as it was mentioned, which is Oshodonjupa, Omaheke, Kunene, and Erongo regions. 4 regions, and the committee covered 14 farms. What were the objectives? The objectives of this oversight, 1 was to assess pre- and post-resettlement support received by the resettled farmers from the Ministry of Agriculture and Land Reform. 2, but also to establish capacity building programs pre- and post-resettlement that was offered to resettled farmers to improve productivity. And the third Objective was to establish and to understand the level of productivity since resettlement and market accessibility by the farmers. And the fourth objective was to understand the funding model in place, how resettled farmers access financing to expand their operations. These were the main objectives. How were the committee to achieve these objectives? We conducted visits to those farms, not to invite them here, but to go to those farms, see for ourselves in terms of the help and what their progress is. That is how we established that. So the report gives from all these individual 14 farms their challenges and their successes. And it's on the basis of those findings on site, accompanied by the ministry officials, that the recommendations were formulated. And it is therefore my pleasure to now submit those findings in the form of recommendations for the Honorable House discussion, consideration, and adoption. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any further contribution? In the absence of further contribution, I will request the chairperson to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Thank you very much for your support and for the adoption of these recommendations.
Thank you very much indeed. I now put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Thank you very much. The Secretary will read the 8th order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the oversight visit to the mining and energy companies in Oshikoto, Ochodonjupa, and Erongo region.
Does the Honorable Toya move that the committee report be considered?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I move.
Thank you very much. Who seconds the report? Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, with your permission, honorable members, may I invite my colleague, the chairperson of that subcommittee responsible for mining and energy, Honorable Karondo, to do a brief motivation. Thank you.
Honorable Karondo, you have the floor.
Thank you for the floor, Honorable Speaker. May I ask the indulgence of this House so that I can table the report on Wednesday or even tomorrow? Yeah. There's something that we are trying to sort out. Yeah.
I'm assuming the report is already tabled.
Motivate the report.
It's a more question of more motivation.
Motivation, not table, but motivation.
Yeah. So
tomorrow.
No, today I have it.
I don't have it.
Honorable, knowing you, I'm sure this is up your sleeve. I'm sure you have the motivation. You can do it off the cuff.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
No, mine is over here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm back at another leaf. You must not.
Right. Honorable Speaker, this is a report you may have followed on NBC that the committee, as part of oversight, went to Ochodonjupa, we went to B2 Gold to see for ourselves those heap of mountains that you see. We went to Erongo. You've seen us visiting Husap, Rossing, what is the new name now? CNNC. But the former Rossing. We went to the new mines, those in granite. So that is the oversight report. So I have a copy here, but it's supposed to be on your system. But in a nutshell, that report talks about the challenges that they're experiencing. Especially last week, you have seen at Navaja that they started reinvesting in the towns. Karabeb in particular, there you have got 90% of marbles are in the area of Karabeb. But Karabeb is not growing at all. The gold mine Navaja is in the area of, so you have seen that they started opening up. I don't want to say after our visit, but we discussed this, where we challenged them. You have seen that they've now provided and assisted through corporate responsibility Ochimbingwe Mortuary. They're going to build state-of-the-art hospital in Karabeb. So there is going to be some kind of development. Our visit there, we challenged them. I beg your pardon, Honorable Speaker, as a former Rossing employee, we challenged them and said, before independence, there was only Rossing Uranium. Rossing Uranium built Arandes, Santa Mareskia, Venita, there's Rossing Country Club, etc. Many. Here's my Honorable Minister. He's a product of Rossing Scholarship, Honorable Tom Alwendo, the Minister of Mines and Energy. He said, in sports, box, they played that role from their corporate responsibilities. And yet, they did not go out of business. And now that we have got more mines, we can hardly see what these mines are doing. So that is what that report contains. And obviously, with our engagement with them, with all the mining expo over the last 2 years where we were invited, so we engaged them. So there is now a bit of easiness that the government is not only demanding unfairly, but simply to engage them. And that is what that report entails, with some recommendations to improve that cooperation and partnership. That is in a nutshell, honorable members. I submit, honorable
Thank you
Speaker.
very much. Thank you very much indeed. In other words, you were there to stimulate interest and encourage them to do more and to do good. Thank you. That said and done, any further contribution? Nekundi? Honorable Nekundi?
Thank you very much, Comrade Speaker. And Comrade Chairperson and your team, job well done. Congratulations. I wish you could have more wings as a committee to entice other miners in the country. But what I want to say substantively, Comrade Speaker, is that appreciation. I think the next leg then to engage these mines is really on the subcontractors and suppliers. It's very much of paramount that the next phase of engagement with these companies is to ensure that the subcontractors in the mines and suppliers should be Namibian-owned enterprises. Because currently, when I one time read the report of Rossing, then they will tell you they are hundreds of millions subcontractors. But these subcontractors, if you go to BIPA, you will realize that these subcontractors are registered in Namibia, but they are not owned by Namibians. So I think that should be the next leg, so that we as Namibians maximally benefit from all fronts of our resources and its exploration. I submit, Comrade Speaker, Comrade Chairperson, I hope it's well anticipated.
Thank you. I think you are emphasizing the issue of value addition as well. This is extremely critical. That said and done, any further contribution? In the absence of further contribution, I request the chairperson. Oh yeah, yes, Honorable Karondo.
Thank you for the floor, Honorable Speaker. What I wanted to add on to contribute to this very important report is an aspect of what Honorable Nekundi just touched upon, the issue of ownership in this mining rights, because we came to learn that the local ownership in this mining is very, very limited, and most Namibians do not own shares in these mining companies. And secondly, we also learned of one important particular aspect of that the percentage that is being given back to the state after the production has been done. The Namibia as a country does not really get a lot apart from relying on royalties and all these others. So the share that comes to the state of the government is very, very limited. And we need to work on improving our legislation to see to it that we perfect it so that we do away with this aspect of the government owning 5% or 0.2%, so that we can increase it at least gradually, so that towards the end, the government should benefit from these natural resources that we have in our country. Increasing it from 5% up to about 10% or so, and gradually as time goes, this will benefit the government in return in the long run. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As part of the report, Chairperson, to reply.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yes, Honorable Nekundi, you are right. In our engagement, I can give 2-3 practical examples. Ohorongo, for example, how to address the involvement of the local community. You know, these pallets where they put the cement, whether it is now 10 or 20 or so. Just those, the timbers or pellets, previously they used to order them from outside. But now they are being made in a garage where they gave it to an individual in Chumep. That SME is providing those pellets. You will also recall with Rossing, even my days in the 80s when I used to work for Rossing, these drums where we put out this so-called yellow, they are actually not that yellow. And from that time until now, there's a South African that is providing them. And we said, look, I think the time has now come. That, I mean, from 1976 until 2024, like last year, that we as Namibians cannot provide a drum with the specifications. Something must be done. So we, in fact, engage them in all this. Even the catering were from outside. And we alerted them and said, this cannot and should not continue. So we really engage them without creating further hostile or hostility. But it is true, it's our responsibility to see that we get benefit there. On a lighter note, some of them were talking of, no, we're waiting for the policy on local content, etc. And I gave them the same example as your Minister of Mines. We did not have local content at the time. Frankly, they did not have local content at the time, but yet they played their corporate responsibilities. So don't hide behind the lack of so-called policy. You must just be open and just share, because you are getting the wealth from here, and you should at least keep that in mind. But it is an ongoing something. We must learn to talk to our colleagues. Thank you very much once again for your support.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Thank you very much. Let's make progress. The Secretary will read the 10th order of the day. Oh, sorry. The 10th order of the day.
The 9th.
The 9th, yes.
Consideration of committee report on the visits to conservancies in Kunene and Zambezi regions.
Does the Honorable Toya move to the committee report be considered?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Who seconds? Any objection? Then it's agreed to.
This time, let me first find out whether my colleague is ready. So, with your permission, Honorable Speaker, I would invite my colleague, the chair of the subcommittee on environment, tourism and forestry, Honorable Kafula, to give a brief introduction and the motivation.
Honorable Kafula, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. The report is on the visit to conservancies in Kunene and Zambezi region, which took place in 2023. Namibia communal conservancies and community forests are self-governing entities legally recognized by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism. Today, there are about 86 registered conservancies in Namibia. The purpose of communal conservancies are to protect wildlife and landscape, promote sustainable natural resources management, and generate income and employment for local people through tourism and other related activities. The committee visited some conservancies in the region, Kunene and Zambezi, as I have indicated earlier, between February and September 2023 to familiarize themselves with the operations of communal conservancies, assess their progress, including challenges that they are facing. The committee held consultative meetings in the mentioned regions with the regional governors, relevant stakeholders, and conservancies management at their respective offices to hear their views on the subject matter. And here we also included the traditional authorities. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, allow me to highlight briefly some of the issues we picked up during our consultation in different areas. A, there is a lack of financial management training for conservancies management committee members, which affect some conservancies' operations. Number two is the restrictions in quota allocation that have contributed to the reduction in the number of hunting quotas despite the increase in species population, leading to cases of human-wildlife conflict. And number three is the Kongola crocodile farm in the Mayuni Conservancy, which was initiated by the Ministry of Trade and Industry in the year 2011, which is on standstill since year 2016. And it's very heartening, Honorable Speaker, that this project, a number of ponds was built, houses were constructed. As we visited the area, everything is dilapidated. And it's a waste of money, to our views, that has been spent. Because for one to revive that, money has to be budgeted. And it's going to be a sort of just repeating the same process which was followed when the project was started. Therefore, I hope that the Minister of Trade and Industry should make time and visit the area and see how the money that we are saying has been wasted has been just flushed in the drain. There are just some of the findings. For example, in order to improve the situation on the ground, the committee highlighted the following recommendations, among others: that the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism should offer basic accounting and bookkeeping training to conservancy treasurers and other financial officers to be able to handle their finances effectively and efficiently.
the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism to spearhead and facilitate peer learning among conservancies in collaboration with civil society organizations to allow exchange of experiences to improve their operations. And number 3 is on the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism in collaboration with the traditional leaders to address the issue of people resettling in animal corridors or plowing beyond allocated borders, including gazetting animal corridors. Lastly, I would like to emphasize that the findings contained in this report reflect the seriousness of the matter on the ground, and the recommendations are therefore based on factual findings. Finally, I would like to thank my fellow committee members and all stakeholders whom we consulted for their cooperation rendered during this exercise. I therefore request the National Assembly to discuss and adopt this report. I thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll really appreciate a summary. Not go into detail because of the time factor. Honorable Maureen Hindabwende.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, just briefly, I first of all want to compliment the committee for taking the effort to address the issues of conservancies. Conservancies were established to assist the rural economy in tourism, and I just wanted to, what I failed to get from the report, and maybe further discussion and some platform would be needed, is to say that the impact of the conservancies thus far. There are conservancies that I'm aware of that are very successful in terms of the turnover, but the contribution of what reaches, the redistribution of the benefit of the conservancies does not really uplift the living standards of those living around the conservancies. So I think that the impact thereof, and see how we can improve on those conservancy operational guidelines. You have rightfully mentioned that financial literacy or financial training is probably also one of the trainings required. But what I wanted to ask essentially, Honorable Kapula, is the issue around the tourist facilities that were constructed halfway. Was it not part of conservancy? Because I think we have visited one conservancy, and I remember there's one in Zambezi, and the other one is probably at Erongo, around Kunene Erongo, that was built. I don't know if it was contractor issues 15 years ago that are incomplete. Yet the areas, the location thereof is so strategic. So maybe if the committee report is forwarded to the ministry, once again to properly mention the parliament that's made in those constructions that are incomplete. Either it has to be handed to the communities so they can see how to complete it, but it is millions of dollars that have been invested, and it is not put to use, and it is incomplete. And some of the houses, the local communities, or there are people who are looking after those buildings, securities, whatever, that are staying there, but it is not put to productive use. So I think maybe just a footnote of a cover letter if Parliament sends the report to the ministry to include the Parliament's concern around those incomplete constructions. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chifeta.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Professor Kachabibi. my professor. I want just to thank the committee for the report and just to say briefly on some of the challenges that I have highlighted, that we as a ministry, we have addressed most of these challenges in the wildlife and the park management bill, which is now we have sent it to the drafters. It almost took 6 years. Challenges like management of finances or resources in the Conservancy, it's a real situation. It's a challenge to us because, as you know, these entities, these Conservancies are legal entities, and they are managed by these committees, management committees. Some of them are doing well, some of them are really disappointing us. And sometimes our officials try to intervene, but we do not have a legal basis to do so because the ministry cannot stop him. Sometimes even we have to stop accounts just to make sure that there's no movement on the account, but they go to court. So the bill was supposed to address this matter, this issue. Some of the Conservancies are doing well, but there are already some that we wanted to do a test. Right? For instance, I can give you some of the concessions that were given, some in the parks, some in the Conservancies, and they are doing well. They have built lodges together with investors. What has been happening, I think I want to refer to the Kongora crocodile farm. It was built by trade industry with the hope that they cooperate and we can now give crocodiles so that they can be trained how to farm crocodiles, but it never materialized. Now, we have learned through experience. We also have lodges that were built by government, and they are now dilapidating their white elephants. And we have learned from experience that as government, it is difficult because sometimes we do not even understand. We only get a project and we start building without anyone running that business. Now, what we have done now, which in fact proved to be more productive, is to give a concession. Like now we give concessions, whether it's in the park or Conservancy, to community directly. And we look for investors through open public tender. That's what is happening when you see those lodges that you see, Soresaurus, King Nehale, and many others. It's through that, and they are doing well because it is these people who can do the work. Because we do not understand the network. For instance, if you have to build a lodge, how do you get the network? After this, because the lodge belongs to the community. After the contract, community will decide whether to run the lodge on its own because it belongs 100% to them. So it was only in a partnership with this managing partner. So, and that is now the mode of doing things, a business like this that works. And it's a model that really works, and there are so many lodges now. So I understand the challenges that are there. Most of them are addressed in the bill. If the bill in the next parliament is passed, we'll be able to address some of these challenges. I went, for instance, to Wabwata National Park and Topnal community there. They have concessions. But for instance, the Wabwata National Park, this community of the Kwe, there are only about 6,000. And we were trying to make sure that to prove to it that this community can use their own natural resources and be able to live and to alleviate poverty. But when I went there, and there are 6,000 people there, the population about 6,000, but they generate more than 8 million a year. Now, I was looking at the material condition of the kids. I said, where is the money going? Where is the money going? I went to Topnal in the park there. I could see This community, they are only about 2,000, but they generate more than 3 million from those concessions. But only few who are living well. But I have even given them, I said, why don't you even buy a bus to transport kids? Kids sometimes they don't go to school because they have no transport to go to Walsh Bay or to Swakop, and you do that. Why don't you even buy even goats for each household? You buy 10 for house because they are less than 200 households. So these are some of the things, really challenges that we can work on in the future. Thank you,
Thank you very much. I'm conscious of the time, and I feel the report is clear. What we need to do is to do the necessary follow-up on the basis of the recommendation. Can I request the chairperson to reply? We so agreed. Or yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to thank the honorable members who contributed. Honorable Hindambwenda, I think it was just an advice on the way forward, if I listen very well. And yes, it's true that there are some conservancies that are doing well. We have like an example in Sesfontein, if I'm not mistaken, where they have gathered some funds and they even bought an ambulance. So some are really being appreciated, but those who are not doing well, it's just simply because there is also a lack of what I have alluded to in the recommendation that need to be addressed. Otherwise, if we can just assist them in that way, we'll find that they will all flourish in the future. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward for the implementation of our report, and we'll see how far we can go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Agree to? Thank you very much. We'll continue the best we can. The Secretary will read the 10th order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the motion on youth unemployment crisis in Namibia.
Thank you. Does the Honorable Dingara move that the committee report be considered? Yes? Is the answer yes? Thank you very much. Who seconds the report? Thank you. Any objection? None? Agree to. The Honorable Member, you have the floor. Wait for the mic.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I was far. Honorable, let me repeat. Honorable Speaker, I thought we are done for the day. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, allow me to present the report on the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Human Resource and Community Development on the motion on youth unemployment crisis in Namibia. The current status of youth unemployment crisis in Namibia has increasingly become concern for many years. The latest data from the labor force survey reveals that the total youth unemployment rate stands at 44.4% in 2023. These figures still point to a worrying situation and shows that our immediate and urgent action is needed to develop target programs, strategies, and interventions aimed at stimulating job creation and addressing the country's unemployment problems. with particular emphasis on youth. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, although Namibia has several legal and policy intervention, as well as programs to address the youth unemployment, they are not effective enough, as the country is still grappling to find durable solutions to these difficult emergencies. Thus, the committee strongly believes that more can still be attained through efficient, improved monitoring and evaluation, and stronger cooperation and coordination between various government departments and other key stakeholders. Honorable Speaker, the findings in this report reflect the seriousness of youth unemployment situation in the country, and the recommendations are therefore based on such findings. I therefore request the National Assembly today to discuss and adopt this report. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Hungary. It is
Yes. Yes, thank you very much. Dearest Honorable Professor Peter Gasavi. Speaker,
I must say I like that.
Thank you. Speaker, I want to first of all acknowledge the efforts of the Committee on Human Resources as led by the Honorable Nono Kashingisiwa, the Honorable Ndigara, and the rest of the colleagues of that particular committee on a job well done. I think it is only right that we acknowledge where others have done well while they're still here.
Yes.
Now, Honorable Speaker, my second point, Honorable Speaker, I must say that the report in itself is extensive, and the committee, one can see that a lot of effort went into this particular exercise, of course highlighting the importance of finding solutions that are realistic, but also that can be implemented not only in the short term, but in the long term, ensuring that young people in the future can secure jobs and have the tools, the skills to actually keep those jobs or even find jobs in the job market. Honorable Speaker, I've gone through the report, and perhaps it becomes a responsibility or a job for the next Parliament to raise some of the issues and maybe explore some of the recommendations that are made in this particular report. But really, I wanted, or I expected there to be some sort of investigation in as far as what has been done with regard to the recommendations made in the APRM report. I am sure the Honorable Speaker is familiar with the Africa peer review mechanism. And some time back, maybe 2-3 years ago, they had a report and published a report on youth unemployment in Namibia. A number of recommendations were made. It would have been insightful to have seen what has been done so far, and for the committee to have conducted a proper investigation with regards to those recommendations that were made in that report. How far have those regional councils, government agencies and bodies and ministries, how far have they gone in terms of implementing those recommendations? But other than that, I think it's an incredible report. It presents this House an opportunity and room to do that which others couldn't do, and that is really creating an environment where young people can have a job and have a future in this country. Thank you, Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you very much. And I also like to thank you, because you actually helped me to confirm verbally now that I have included in my handover report reference to that important report you refer to, the ARPA report, for the purpose of the necessary follow-up on the part of this House. So the next who is going to succeed me will make it a point as one of the issues that I'm highlighting, influenced by the challenges that our young people are being confronted with. Thank you very much. Otherwise, if you didn't refer to that, I would have left it to the report, but it will be part of the handover report, the issue that I'm highlighting. Thank you very much. Any further contribution? In the absence of any contribution, I'm requesting the chairperson of the committee to reply.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for as a member of the committee. In the report, there are very important recommendations, and we urge the institutions to implement, because one of example is like Mauritius. In Mauritius, currently as we speak, and last time when we were there, all universities and polytechnics, before the people go for graduation, after they have finished their academic studies, before they go for graduation, they all come from work. They are already all employed. So no one goes in the street. And that we could learn from them, what did they do, so that we can also follow suit. Otherwise, with this few words, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Mauritius is a country that is very close to us. Lessons can be learned in terms of how well they have done. That said and done, I put the question that the committee report be adopted. Any objection? Agree to. Okay, I pause for a while. It is 6 o'clock. Can we continue for a while? Oh, thank you. I don't want to. There was a comment by a member. Oh, I think it was Honorable Digara who thought it was the end of the road. Now we are going to proceed. The secretary will read the 11th order of the day.
Consideration of committee report on the motion on establishing special schools in the Kavango East and Kavango West regions.
Thank you very much. Does the Honorable Digara move that the committee report be considered?
Yes, I so move.
Thank you. Who seconds? Any objection? Then it's agreed to. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Yeah, on this report, we have the chairperson of the subcommittee on this, and she would, Honorable Berta Diando would present the report.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, allow me to motivate the report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Human Resources and Community Development on the motion on establishing special schools in Kavango East and Kavango West regions, as tabled by Honorable Mbundu of RP. The committee met with the following stakeholders, among others: Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, school boards, Namibia National Teachers Union, Namibia Students Organizations, student representatives, and Namibia Organization of Parents in Education. The committee found that the challenges facing children with learning difficulties is not peculiar to two regions only, but it is affecting the whole country. Although the Ministry of Education has established resource units at different schools throughout the country, the ministry is still overwhelmed by many challenges facing these learners. These challenges include, among others, lack of qualified or specialized teachers, lack of sophisticated teaching and learning materials, lack of hostel facilities, increasing number of learners enrolled annually.
We invited women to try a 2-in-1 clear product, but first we asked them, do you mix tissue oil into your cream for extra nourishment?
I do mix tissue oil into my cream.
It just moisturizes your skin better.
This is genius, in my opinion.
Did not expect this from any brand.
It's so convenient. Simply mix the oil into your cream or use the oil on its own when your skin needs extra nourishment.
I mean, I am obsessed.
Clear, love your beautiful skin.
Do you own a registered business with BIPA? And are you aware of your financial year-end obligation? Every registered business is required to launch their annual returns and make payment of annual duties at the end of their financial year, irrespective if your entity is in operation or not. It's time to pay your annual duties. Annual duty fees are only $120 annually.
Call BIPA today on 061 299 4433 to inquire about your outstanding annual returns. Remember, good standing is always good business.
Good evening and welcome to the Daily Roundup with Nina's Monday edition of news, views and interviews. I'm your host, Nina Katangana. Of course, we know you've been watching Parliament proceedings here on NBC1.